Welcome back. So far we have learned that if we have SQL statements to execute, we can put them either in .SQL file and then feed this .SQL file into MySQL client program to execute it. Or we can create an executable shell script to perform the same action. What if we don't want to save these SQL statements into a file first? Is there a way to execute SQL statements without even first opening the MySQL client shell? Or in other words, executing these SQL statements from the terminal? The answer is yes, with the option -- execute or -e as a short form. So Bob got this assignment. He has a SQL statement, actually one or more SQL commands, and he wants to execute them from the terminal. He doesn't want to always log into MySQL shell first and then run it. So this MySQL client program give you an option. You can run any SQL command from the terminal. You don't need to log in first. So here I am just giving MySQL -e option. I am not providing --host, --user and --password because I already use this MySQL config editor. All those credentials have been saved. So let me show you quickly both ways how we can perform this action where we will execute a SQL command from the terminal. So here I have already logged into a database host. So I can log in as MySQL because I already saved this credential for the credentials. So now what I will do is I will simply say MySQL and then I'll say -e, or I can use --execute is equal to double quotes. Let's put some SQL command. I want to run, let's say, host name, and I want to do version. Okay, close this quotes, and right there we did not log into MySQL shell first. At the terminal we use MySQL client and then use this execute option to run a command. We can actually do multiple commands at the same time with a semicolon as a terminator. I can do another, say I'll say select, let's say select, I would say user host from MySQL.user. Right there. So any command you separate with a semicolon, you can have as many SQL commands as you want. So right there, without logging into it, we use the MySQL client and we ran multiple commands. Another way I would do is I will log out of this database host. Now this is my own Mac terminal, my client. I can do the other way. MySQL, let's say the host is this IP address, user is Bob, and this is the password. I will enter when it will prompt me, and then I will say -e with a short form. I will say select, let's say again host name, let's say now, what is time right now? Okay, and semicolon. You can use semicolon here or you don't. If you have any other command here, you can put. Either way, both will work. So let me try to see if it works. Right there. So I actually am logging remotely as a Bob user from my own workstation, and I can run these commands. I don't need to actually first log into the database host or start the MySQL shell. Then from within there I can do, or I can source a .SQL. You can actually use -e option with any SQL command. So I hope this demo has been very informative for you, and I will see you in the next lesson.